Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. Jay, Mike, and you know what time it is? I say, goddamn! There you go, because I said it first and now Mike feels weird. Say it, Mike.
I don't want to.
Okay, fine.
You did it good!
We're gonna move on from that.
Good. I like the way it felt inside my Bojangles.
I did too. I felt like a very strong sexual thing. So, anyway, as we're going on, we're gonna be talking about Game of Thrones, next to the last fucking episode, and oh my god, this is one of the best episodes I've seen in a long time.
I thought you were gonna say biscuits.
Biscuits!
Hot buttermilk biscuits!
They had awesome biscuits and they gave them out for free when you watch this episode. Fantastic. So, let me just... Wowzer, Inspector Gadget Wowzer. This fucking episode took everything that you love about Game of Thrones and gave it to you on a platter and said, now fucking enjoy it.
It was a sausage platter.
It was.
Nothing but sausages.
Everybody loves a good sausage.
7 different kinds of sausages.
On
and
a platter.
Cheese.
You see
melted cheese.
You see a platter, you want to eat that sausage. But anyhow, so... let's talk, okay, before we get into the big one, like the big giant shit, we're going to jump around. This is what we do. This is how we do. We're going to jump around a little bit towards the end of the episode, the early parts of the episode. Let's talk about really quick Daenerys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Daenerys and Peter Dinklage with Tyrion. So, Daenerys comes back and is basically giving Peter Dinklage some shit. She's like, you know, and she's walking towards him all like,
Sarah, that stink eye.
That's fine. You give it to me all night.
It's like when your wife comes home when you left beer out or you didn't clean up or you left kind of a messy situation. And you're like, hey, babe, and you just get those eyes, you know you're in deep shit.
Well, my ex-wife's a whore, so I don't know what you're talking about. But no, I mean, the truth is, she gave him this stare down, like the stink eye, as you say, and walking towards him, kind of like intimidating. It's like, you know, you gave the city back to the masters. You know, I left you in charge for a few fucking days, and you already fucked things up. You are fired as assistant manager. He's like, please, boss, I just want another chance.
I need this job. I got no place else to go.
Do you know what it's like to be an imp?
I was scared about that, though. I was worried about that because she shows up like a fucking flock of seagulls through the goddamn window, like she fucking levitated into there. And you know, like, the city's being bombed. It's like, I left for a fucking week and I come back and it's this shit. I almost got raped by 1,000 Dothrakis and fuck. But she comes back. But he talks, as Tyrion does, as you do, he drinks wine and he talks himself right out of the fucking situation.
I know, basically he
like
just
a badass.
He doesn't say it, but he's basically like thinking to himself, and he's probably trying to give that away and convey that to Daenerys. You got fucking dragons, chick. And you're hot. You're fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Calm your tits.
You can get a job at Hot Topic, no problem.
I mean, and they have good benefits sometimes. And you get all the weird emo shit you want. So,
studded belts.
Basically, she forgives him for whatever his attempts were for, you know, allowing this deal to go down with the Masters. She comes outside and she's talking to the Masters, and they're being, you know, egotistical, snotty bitches, and they're like, oh, well, it's time for you to surrender. What are you gonna do? And she's like, no, I think you got it wrong, whore. I want your surrender. And they're like... Then you hear the roar of fucking the magic dragon.
It looked like they were actually fucking playing magic, dude. And she was like, what's this?
Slam it.
Dragons.
Or Pog.
Holy fuck.
I have the best slammer of all time.
And they kind of looked at each other like, oh, fucking beans.
Dude, I was a fucking beans.
The
fucking beans.
Fucking beans, man. Fucking beans.
Fucking beans. Okay, so it was a fucking bean situation because those three guys, when they saw that dragon, well, I think we called that last week. We said that, you know, she's going to use her dragons and light that shit up, and she fucking does in a fantastical way. Yeah. And those guys looked at each other.
The fucking Kraken.
Those guys looked like an outdated Bee Gees. They were like, those three dudes were the singers, and then one of them was like, "Hey guys, I think I'm gonna retire," because they were so confident. Yeah. They're like, "This is gonna be the next big hit. We're gonna take back the city, and we're gonna have sex with her." And then all of a sudden, they see this dragon come over the hillside, and they're like, I quit.
Yeah. They were kind of like the Warriors.
They were just like the Warriors. So she comes up and has like that scene was so badass. She gets on there, she looked hotter than ever. Looked like a Molly Hatchet fucking album cover with just like a Valkyrie with an axe.
Molly fucking Hatchet. Was that the chick from Breakfast Club?
No, Molly Hatchet was a band, I think. I don't know. If I'm wrong, but anyway, she looked like a hard rock metal fucking
Molly Ringwald.
No, Molly Hatchet was a band.
I know, but Molly Ringwald was from the Breakfast Club. Go on with what you're saying. Sorry.
You've never gone down on a guy.
Continue!
Anyway, so yeah, she goes up with her dragons. It looked like a badass, you know, it's just an amazing scene. Lights that shit on fire. Her warriors, the untainted, the unsullied, you know, intimidate the shit out of these guys too. And then Peter Dinklage doing what Peter Dinklage does as Tyrion goes up to him and says, so she's gonna let one of you live, or two of you live. And the guy the guy's like, take him, he's lowborn, and throws him on his knee. He's like, please, I'll suck your dick.
And he's like, snicky,
yeah,
snicky.
That was badass.
Berserker.
But I felt it was almost like Tyrion was a comforting presence because he walks up and he puts his hand and he's like, go back and tell him, if you fuck with us, you're gonna get the thunder.
He was like Brad Pitt in Fight Club after he let the guy live, but he takes his license and he's like, Peter whatever. He's like, I'm gonna come visit you. And if you haven't changed your entire fucking life, I'm gonna murder your ass. It was kind of that badass, cool moment.
And it was awesome to see that. And this is really, I think, the definitive moment of Daenerys, because she really has established herself now, because it wasn't just the fact that she had her own personal dragon that she rides around like her buggy, which is awesome. Those 2 dragons that we hadn't seen in a while fucking burst up underneath the goddamn castle, and they're like, hey bro, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while, let's go light some shit up on fire. And they do, and then she says like, Draco, or some shit like that.
It looked like you took a Risk board game, set 2 dragons loose in it, and then 2 hot people fucked on top of it. It was that cool.
I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that in the audience?
Sounds awesome.
And you know what, it was just so cool, because she says Draco or some other shit, and it bursts fire. So she's got this shit under like voice command, which is amazing. I want that. But so she does all that stuff. That's cool as hell. And she establishes herself forever as Daenerys, Queen of Dragons. Then stuff really starts getting good. I mean, I'm gushing because I just had so much fun with this episode, this specific scene.
Man, they blew their fucking bankwad on this
big one.
They've been holding it up, and it's been some slow shit happening, and they were just fucking like, it's like it rain in the club.
It's like if you went to the sperm bank and you hadn't had sex in a while, and you're like, I got 5 cups ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. Here you go. You can't hold it back. It's like, don't give me those magazines because I'll never come out of here alive, because I'll just drain myself and I'll come out skinny. But the thing is like after that,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's exactly what it was. There was just so much cool stuff. You're just like, you just had this. But Theon Greyjoy, which we knew that was going to happen, they meet up with his sister, and it was just a cool moment to see all this stuff finally starting to come together and congeal. Because she's saying, well, why would I not just wait for your uncle? He's like, and his sister, which I'm sorry, I can't remember her name.
Rico.
She's like, basically he wants to put his caulk up in you.
Yeah.
And that's why. He has a bigger fleet, but if you're with us, we're going to change things. And she's like, do you swear you're going to give me allegiance and recognize me as the queen of the 7 kingdoms? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, pillaging, raping, and all that shit's done. I'll give you back the Iron Islands, but you're with me now.
That's what I call sexy negotiation.
But Peter
5.0.
But Tyrion,
was sexy.
It was.
She was like fucking, because she was like, I suppose your offer comes without a caulk. She's like, well, I make no promises. Or whatever the fuck she said. She was like, it's not necessary, but I'm up for anything. And I was like, Bud Light! I'm ready to see that scene. Even though you're not that hot, but put you with her and you both become like a 9, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
You put an ugly with a hot, you get like, you balance it out. Everybody loves it.
That chick has more balls than most men.
And she does. She's awesome. So
balls of steel. Balls of steel.
So the thing is I thought it was kind of cool or funny. I don't know why.
Balls.
You're stuck in retro. I'm doing this. I'm doing the windshield wiper motion because I was like, no, because this is pretty much what happened when Theon shows up with his sister asking for help and we're gonna give you these ships and we're just come back and help us to retake the Iron Islands and we're right behind you. Theon's like, wait a minute.
I got no dick.
Not Theon. Tyrion's like, wait a minute. Wait. Like, weren't you the dick that was making fun of me when I was at Winterfell? Wasn't that you? And then he was like, what happened to you? And I know it was just a look on Theon, because I felt bad for Theon. That was like, I'm not worthy of the throne. I don't want to take the throne. I don't want anything to do with it. And he's like,
they're like, what's wrong? He was like,
I know.
I've got no dick.
I thought he was going to look at his sister, though, and be like, don't you fucking tell him. He's like, don't you dare say
He's like yelling at you.
He's like, I have... Because he's like, you look fine to me. He's like, I have no dick. They took my weed.
Got no dick.
But finally, again... Daenerys recognizes the potential for having them on her side. Yeah. They seem like strong individuals, and
we're not going to be like our parents.
Yeah, change the world. We didn't start the fire.
It was always burning
since the world's been turning. Yeah, we're not going to do
Peggy Sue and Charlie Show. What the fuck the words?
Peggy Sue.
I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind. Continue.
Rockefeller. So they formed the first alliance with Daenerys and somebody from the 7 Kingdoms. I cannot wait till the last episode where that's going to go into the next season, because hopefully we get something better and more stronger.
Fucking ultimate tag teams are happening.
It's going to happen. It's going to come.
Yeah.
So now,
DOA.
Now, let's get into the main event. Jon fucking Snow.
Yeah.
Could you get any more badass? Like, is there a process that he had to go through? Yes, he had to fucking die. But there are battle hymns forever sung with Jon Snow on their lips. Because Jon Snow has forever established himself as the He-Man of fucking the 7 Kingdoms.
Fucking
there is
Batman
no
with
doubt.
A sword, man.
And I'm talking about like. This was just a moment. This was just a moment. This is just like you just want to stop and grab people off the fucking streets and be like, do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Do you realize what you've done?
That's what you wanted to see. It was so amazing. Like the battle sequence because the Bolton asshole that he is.
He fucking killed Rickon, man, in the worst goddamn Game of Thrones.
Well, we'll get to that really quick, because I want to. That's the main meat. We're gonna go around the sides of it a little bit. Let's go outside. Let's cut a little bit into it. So before this, they have a meeting. Ramsay, and Jon. It's called Battle of the Bastards, which, by the way, I just think it's funny because Battle of the Bastards sounds like a shitty band in a shitty club.
Yeah.
It's like, we're the Battle of the Bastards, we don't give a fuck about labels. It just sounds like, and it'd be like us drinking.
I got no dad.
Like, look at this drink that Mike's drinking, like this weird light purple, pink thing, and be like, hey, how much did that cost? Like $2.50. Where are we at? We're at this shitty band. Who's the band? Battle of the Bastards. Okay.
Hey, who's the band? The Shitty Beatles. Oh, are they any good?
They're actually shitty.
Oh, so it's not just a clever name.
There you go. But that's what it's like. But, you know, whatever. They have a meetup. Ramsay, being his little pussy self, was like, Jon Snow challenged him. He's like, let's just not have our men fight, and we'll fight each other.
As you should, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted that, actually.
Yeah, which would solve a lot of wars.
By the way, I'm just going to interject real quick. That's the question of the day, of all the questions. As badass as this episode and the battle was, would you have rather, if you could go back, would you have rather just watched a straight-up one-on-one fight in that moment between Jon and fuckface bowl cut Ramsay? Or would you rather have it be the way it was? That's the question. Continue.
I think that Bolton, I mean, you know what? I would have been fine with that, but I wanted to see the fucking battle.
It was bad.
Like, I mean, if I had saw a glimpse of what was to come, and then I was like, nah, I wanted it.
And they knew they needed to do something great, because we've seen great battle scenes in Game of Thrones before, and this season's been lackluster on certain things, even though we've liked it. There's been problems, so they knew they had to do something special, and that fucking track shot, dude, that one take where he's going through and shit's just happening like fucking crazy. I love Batman vs Superman. It put the single shot of him in the coat in the fight scene to fucking shame. There was so much shit happening. I have no idea how they made it happen.
You know what?
It was the best one I've probably ever seen. Maybe True Detective, that one, you know what I'm talking about, was great. This might have topped that. That's another question today.
This is
goddamn.
This took Game of Thrones.
Questions everywhere.
The Game of Thrones name with Game of Thrones, period. Now it's Game of Thrones, exclamation point.
Game of Thrones.
It was there. But no, the thing, okay, after that whole scene, and then, you know, Bolton's like, I don't have to fight you, you're a fucking puss. I got a whole army behind me. And then Jon Snow's like, well, what are you going to do when I tell all your men that you wouldn't fight for them, so why the fuck would you fight for, why would they fight for you? And he's like, oh, you're good. I want to fuck your sister, so I'm gonna fucking back away. And
Jean Grey?
Yeah. So basically, Bolton becomes a puss. Then they have their battle. They have their battle plans, and this is where it kind of gets comedic a little bit because the red-haired. I love that guy, the red-haired Viking guy. He doesn't understand strategic, like in the way that, or strategy in the way that the wording or the vocabulary is. Because they were like, we're gonna do a pincer move, and he's like, we're gonna attack from two different sides. He's like, why didn't you just say? He reminded me of Drax, the Destroyer. Like everything's literal to him. And like, you know, he has this moment with Sir Bravos or whatever.
That was a good moment.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. Like they have this little broship going on, and then Sansa comes up to Jon Snow and tells him like, you know, we're not ready. And it's like, you know, at some point Jon Snow's just getting angry. He's like, I came back from the fucking dead. Mom left me in charge, and I'm gonna do the way I gotta do it. So shut up, Sansa. And then she was like, and then she was just like, whatever, you know, whatever. You think you're a. She's like, I don't know anything about it. And then I would have been like, then shut your fucking trap down. But you know, ultimately what happens, because she was trying to warn him that Bolton is an expert at hurting people. He knows how to draw people in and make them angry and just react. So then we segue into the land of awesome and the land of fucking sunshine, because it's where Jon Snow and his armies are gathered together. It was like a Lord of the Rings kind of thing.
Yeah.
They were gathered together. It looked fucking amazing. It was on that open field, and then Bolton's all ready with his men, and they kind of, and then Rickon.
It was a Braveheart ass moment. I was waiting for everybody to show their assholes. You know?
Well, because you started with Rickon, we'll let you talk about Rickon.
Well, no, it's a perfect fucking Game of Thrones moment, right? He lets Rickon go, and at first you think, okay, the first arrow's gonna hit him. It doesn't hit him, and they fucking just squeeze your goddamn heart out because you're like, oh, he's got a chance. And they wait until Jon Snow's right there about to fucking Superman that shit and pick him up. And the last arrow hits him at the last second.
I knew it was going to happen too.
Fuck you, Game of Thrones. You always do that shit to us.
I got so excited too. I was like, Jon's actually going to have it. He was like right there.
It's like a friend zone of fucking fuck.
It's not a good day.
It's a friend zone.
It's like after you've had a beer that's been laced.
Everyone you love will die.
Yeah, and it's like he's right there, and then it was so cool how they shot that moment because there's no music, and you just see a kind of slow mo thing, and then you see fucking Jon Snow's fucking face, and he looks up at Bolton. He's like, "You wanted the thunder, well now you got it." Like I was just like, "God damn yes!" Yeah. And then I got scared, dude. I got fucking scared because he had a moment with Melisandre. He's like, "Well, why did the Lord of Light bring me back a little bit before this?" And she's like, "Maybe just for this one battle. Maybe you'll die tomorrow. Maybe that's all it was." It's like, no. I don't want that again. Yeah. Because when he started and do that with I want a fucking poster of Jon Snow just standing there with a lone figure with his fucking sword, and all these guys ready to fucking rock. And then all of a sudden his crew comes to help him. Dude, it was. I
thought he was dead.
I did too.
I was like, oh, he's dead for sure.
Because when he starts rushing and then all the arrows are coming, every time an arrow would come down, I'd be like, no, because I thought one was gonna start piercing him and shit. Yeah. And then this battle goes on forever. It's the coolest battle sequence that I've seen in a long time on a television show for sure, no doubt. And then I started getting serious, Jon Snow's surviving. He's fucking doing it. He's living. Then he starts getting suffocating. And when he comes up through the crowd of men and just trying to breathe under all this flesh,
I was like, why do we fall, Bruce? Why do we fall?
Pick ourselves back up. And I was like, breathe! Breathe! Because he's like, ooh! I was like, breathe, you mother ass man! And even the red hair beard guy, when he comes up against the main knight for Bolton,
I thought he was dead too.
I did too. And then it was the battle of the beards had happened. And he was I think I was fucking him up. But then out of left field, out of nowhere, Sansa comes up with who else? The original OG, Littlefinger comes up with I don't know what they're called, the Vale Army, and they fucking, oh my god, that was such a cool scene. And even the giant was, everything was just so cool. There was just so much going on that it was overload senses.
Oh, dude. And every shot looks so fucking good. I keep going back to that one take shot that followed Jon Snow, and that was just amazing. The shot where he's getting trampled and he comes up fucking, I said, Batman style. And then when they've got him pinned, and they're just fucking poking him, sticks, man, that was fucking hardcore. That you were scared in that moment because you're like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And anything can happen in Game of Thrones, and they've set this up perfectly to where you're so scared at all times because anyone can die.
No, that's what I was scared of.
It sucks. They broke your fucking hearts when they killed Ned Stark. They broke your fucking hearts a million times, but that's what makes these moments so special. And I think, dude, you're right. That may have been the greatest scene in television history.
It had to be. I'm not. We haven't seen. We're not futurists, but goddamn, they put a fucking cake that almost can never be touched with taste. That rhymed. But anyway, the point is, it was just you're right. The sequences and the shot and the way they filmed it and the editing was just so amazing to see on camera.
It deserved a fucking.
It did. I really hope it wins awards for that one sequence because when he climbs up on top of the bodies and he's just fucking smitten with blood and soot and mud and he gives this dude, his eyes are black as fuck. He just had this death stare on him and then his other two friends crawl up on next to him and it was like Power Rangers unite.
No, it was the Holy Trinity.
I know.
It was the Holy Trinity.
But I felt like that Congo song. I was like, oh, I'll take you down.
And
War!
It doesn't stop there. He fucking chases bitch ass bull Cut Ramsey down to the fucking house, and the giant beats down the door. And Ramsey even did have a badass moment. When he fucking he had that badass villain moment where he fucking took down the giant with that one shot.
Well, the giant was almost dead.
Right, but it was this epic fucking. There's a giant coming at you, and you fucking arrow him in the goddamn eyeball. It's he's formidable at least.
I felt bad for the giant though, because my giant, because I wanted to
fucking George Mearsheimer.
I wanted him to stay around. I just wanted him to stay around. I was like, my giant. But
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, and he dies. It sucks. Jon Snow's he was reaching up to give him a hand, and he's like, oh fuck. And then Bolton's what is he? Oh, he says, I've reconsidered. He's like, maybe we should have a one-on-one. Then he starts fucking knocking arrows, and Jon Snow is being Terminator
Batman. And he's fucking Batman.
I had this fucking moment. I was like, get him, Jon, go, get him, Jon. And I was like, don't you dare hit that arrow. And when he started punching him, he got on the face. I was like, don't you stop. And it was fucking.
Stop.
It was very sexual. It was very. I had a very sexual awakening. I don't know, dude. It was just the blood and the grit and just this asshole. My heart got released.
Blood, grit, and asshole. Jay puts that together with sexuality.
I don't mean asshole in the way you meant it.
I'm just saying.
You brought up asshole.
Those are the facts. You decide.
Well, how do you decide? What is your truth? But no, it was just such a cool moment though. It was just one of those. It was a dude moment, or just a fucking goddamn release. Because
it's that old school fucking. You don't get that in movies anymore. The good guy gets the bad guy one-on-one, and the good guy fucks his shit.
And I was scared. In this episode, when he turned away, I thought they were going to end the episode. I was like, no. I was like, don't you fucking dare. Yeah. You let Jon Snow beat the shit out of him, and then he sees Sansa come in, and he stops. He was just, wailing on
She was like, that's my booty.
I know. And then at the end, Sansa gets her fucking revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, my hounds will never turn on me. Because he's sitting there all bloodied up. And
he's like, bitch, they hungry.
Yeah. And I kind of think that, we'll talk about that in a second. But, he's sitting there, and, Jon Snow obviously had his people put him in rope. And Sansa's like, where is he at? And he had these gates opened up, and his hounds, which he hadn't fed in 7 days, and you don't do that. You got to give them kibble and bits to keep that loyalty going on. And he comes in and he's like, and then there's that scene, and she's like, they haven't been fed in 7 days, and they're starving. They were loyal, and that dog's licking his face, and then it just grabs his fucking jaw. Yeah. But that was the one moment I get squeamish about graphic shit sometimes. That was the one I was like, don't you turn away. I was like, I want to watch this motherfucker get all hits. I was like, give me all.
It was weird though, because that episode, even though that was Sansa's revenge, that was also HBO's revenge, because he did so much fucked up shit to her that HBO was kind of like, you know what, everybody got pissed at us because she got raped and she had all this terrible shit to her happen. We're gonna fucking bring it home for all of you guys, and we're gonna let Sansa be the one that watches his fucking face getting eaten off, and it was fucking pure joy. It was amazing.
I think we had told that, like, we all knew, everybody that's watched the show, that Ramsay was gonna get in the worst fucking way.
Yeah.
And he fucking did. Not only did he get fucking demolished by Jon Snow by, like, Muhammad Ali style, just fucking his face up, then he gets in there and has his own dogs that he turned against his little brother and fucking woman that had the little brother, whatever her name was, and had them eat him alive. Dude, that was like a satisfactory thing.
That was good.
And then
Game of Thrones knows how to do that.
Right. And then the other thing that happened, like the small things, and this was like a little bit thing I was gleaning from it. It had nothing to do with it, but when Jon Snow looked at Sansa, like I think he had like this pissy thing, because he's like, you didn't tell me about Littlefinger. You didn't tell me that they had this army that they offered.
She sent that little raven.
She did, but she never told him.
Yeah, I know.
And so he's like, if you had this whole fucking army, why'd you have me do this?
I think the biggest thing is we still have an episode to go. And I think that they blew their load a little bit. I don't think that this episode it was supposed to be the longest. Anything can happen. But I do think that we're going to have Davos. He found that little fucking toy that we're talking about. Melisandre's sitting up there like an old depressed lady in a fucking shoe. Yeah. You know, she's upset. She's just not herself or whatever. There's going to be something that happens there probably in this next episode. So that's definitely one thing that's going to tie up. What I loved, probably my favorite, just moment of the whole thing was watching the Stark flags drop down over the castle.
I love that. That was fucking awesome. You know what? They didn't have to do
fucking awesome.
They didn't have to do anything with music. It was just cool to see the fucking, the hanged man, or whatever the fucking Boltons were. Yeah. The skinned man alive, the flayed man, and then just see that little wolf thing come down. I'm like, thank God.
And you might be thinking, who's the bad guy now? Who's the real person that's like holy shit with? You've always got the White Walkers on the back burner, man. We're finally going to get to a point where everything's solidified. The Starks are going to be together, I feel like, and then the real enemy is finally going to be the White Walkers, and that's going to be the fucking good. And
as far as Snow and Sansa are concerned, they don't know about Arya and they don't know about Bran. They don't know where they are. So that in of itself is going to be a cool thing to do, like later on and next season, because I'm sure they're not going to talk about the last episode. I think what's going to happen in the last episode. I got it, guys.
What?
Last episode, you remember we were talking about the green fire?
Tell us, Jay.
Remember the green? Like, somebody in the comments answered that question, which was really nice.
They're gonna light that bitch up.
That's right, because they said that Cersei, when she, talking to her Frankenstein guy that created the mountain, said, what's going on? He's like, our little birdies have found that stash. So they're gonna light.
Tyrion mentioned that in this episode.
Yeah, right. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of focus on the Lannisters and Jaime and that whole situation.
Burn it to the ground.
And Brienne. So I think that's gonna be a cool thing to wrap up. But this was this is the bar, man. This is this is it. Yeah. You can't go higher right now.
Save the season. Not a bad season, but they still saved it. Not a bad season. I enjoyed watching it at the end. If you look back on it, I think when you compare it, season 4 is always the best to me, where Joffrey died and stuff. Yeah. But this season, this really just pumped this whole season.
Well, the Red Wedding was really good too.
Yeah, that was good. But season 4 was best. Okay, sure. Mine's favorite. So,
I don't think
but yeah, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought about all this shit. Is this your favorite fucking battle of all time in Game of Thrones? Would you rather see Ramsay and Jon go one-on-one? It's hard to say that you didn't like anything about this episode.
They did kind of.
But what do you think's going to happen next? Comment down below. Let us know. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you.
Jon Snow.
Okay?